Hello everybody. My name is niXcraft. Welcome on back to another Minecraft video. This is Surviving with niXcraft episode 9. And as usual, we are starting off with our stream recap. And I actually streamed twice since the last episode. And we found some cool stuff, but I'm just hanging here at the spawner. As you can see, I'm a level 35. Well, about to be 36 after this. Maybe we'll do some enchanting to start today. But in the first stream, I cleared out this space here over by the river and decided to grow some trees and chop them down. We've got a whole bunch of wood to build with now, which is going to be perfect for today. And I also went strip mining. I found 27 diamonds in the strip mines, which is going to be great. We're going to be making a full set of armor soon. We actually already have it, we just have to enchant it. And we're going to make that netherite. But let's move on with enchanting and then talk about today's plan. Finally, I think we could complete our full set of enchanted tools. We have efficiency 4 on an axe, and it's just that, and honestly, that's okay. I'll take efficiency and unbreaking. That's all we really need on an axe anyways, we just need to chop. And as a bonus, we get protection 4 on our pants too. And some thorns, I guess. We're just gonna leave these here for now. And for 6 levels, that is not that bad. We've got ourselves a full set of tools enchanted. I actually do need a second pickaxe. I need silk touch on it. That's going to be important in the future when we're raiding the end and we get ender chests and shulker boxes and all that. We are going to need silk touch on us. But, moving on. Taking a trip on up to our skeleton spawner once again, we actually need to visit our old pal Mr. Green here. Because in today's episode, we will be turning this guy into a mending librarian. He will sell us mending, and actually for very, very cheap. If you have a zombified villager, or a zombie villager I should say, and you convert him back into a regular villager, he will sell you discounted items, and we could get mending for as low as 1 emerald. So I think that's the plan today, but first, we need a house to put this guy in. We can't just have him out in the open, because he could get hurt or injured or turn back into a zombie, so we're going to build this guy a nice house. Heading across the river now, we have to start thinking about location. I think most of our useful things, farms and whatnot are going to be over on this side of the river, as I'd mentioned. We'll keep everything simple on the starter half of the river here. But if you follow me on the streams, I did mention I have a pretty cool plan for this area over here. Dropping into this giant cave that we discovered really early on. As you could see, there's a couple of holes out into the outdoors over there. I think it'd be kind of cool to open this up and kind of make a nice front gate entrance and put something cool in here, like our storage room or maybe a big trading hall with a lot of villagers to get a bunch of emeralds. So with that being said, I think the mending villager should be somewhere close to here. And I'm thinking this flatter area just on the outside of this cave could still get a good view of our house. And if we just clear some trees back, we should be all set to build. I think I'm going to grab some of these oak leaves as well. I'm running a bit low on these. This looks like the worst oak tree to cut down ever. And it's actually right next to a double tree of some sorts. Got some interesting foliage going on over here. I somehow managed to get every single block of wood out of that tree too. Look at me go. And just like that, here is the build. We are ready. We can move this guy in. He's got a bed, he's got a chest, crafting table, and stone cutter just in case he needs to cut tools. I'm just kidding. This is just our workstation here. And we have a bit of cobblestone laid out up top. This is where we're going to put our mending villager. And the setup looks pretty simple. Pretty much just like a T-shaped house. This will be the front entrance here. Simple slanted roof, nothing crazy, but a little twist at the end on that roof. And we'll get to that in a second. But I have a chest full of blocks here. I think we can make some good use of these. I'm sure I'll be running back to the house eventually. That's why we need to get storage done soon. Now the feel I want to capture for this build is sort of a enchanted bookstore type of feel. We'll have a little sign out front maybe with an enchanted book on it so we know what's going on here. And the inside will be full of bookshelves. I think that'll look really nice. We're coming along here with some cobbled deep slate and a little bit of polished in there too. Just kind of look like this foundation has been broken over time. Built up our foundation too tall now because I think we're going to come and pop this out a little bit on the sides and come up here with some stripped spruce logs. Now we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that'll be plenty tall. We don't want to make this too big, so we're going to add a roof on top, of course. Using some slabs and trapdoors, we can make ourselves a little archway here at our windows. Got all these beams in now, looking wonderful, and I think here on the side, I like how this arch turned out. It was 2 wide windows, so I decided to have the trapdoors here in the middle, so we still get that arch effect all across the side with the 2 wide windows, so that worked out great. And right here up front, it's the debut of what I think the wall's going to look like. It's a little sprucey for now, but don't worry, we will fix that when the time comes. We are going to work our way up to the roof. And just waking up now, behind us, we have a wandering trader. And if you tuned into the last stream, we spent about 2 hours looking for moss. It would be amazing if he had moss right now. As he bobs in the water, let's see what he's got. Hello, sir. And no moss. Oh well. Coming over to the front face of our build now, we could start working in our first window. And we're going to do a little mix of the oak and spruce, like I'd mentioned. And put a stair here, and that should connect well with these glass panes. I think eventually we'll do some trapdoors or something around the outside, or maybe some fences just to encase the window in a nice frame. That's looking good, just needs a roof on it. Gonna go with some deep slate bricks, but we're gonna go with slabs so we don't make this build too tall. Definitely loving the deep slate bricks up there. Sorry, we're speeding through this build a little bit because we gotta do the interior as well before we move our villager in, but I think we can go dark oak on the roof. We are up on the roof now, and I'm going to add something a bit different here at the top. I think I want a little tower sticking out of this, sort of just off-centered. I don't want it right in the middle because I thought it was looking a bit too symmetrical. So let's see if I can come up with something and probably go to bed soon because the sun is setting on us. About that height should be fine. Using some deep slate bricks up here as well, I think we can match the trim of the roof, but I think we're going to mix in some copper on this one. Putting the final touches on our roof now. I could hop down and see how this looks. Turned out a little taller than I wanted, but that's okay. And our view from the dock is looking fantastic. Definitely a few more details that I have to add in. At the top there, I used an acacia fence. So I'm actually going to want it to stay that nice bright copper orange. So we're going to have to make a bee farm soon so we could start waxing our copper. If you use the honeycomb on copper, it will stay the same color. So you can see the roof behind me is beginning to oxidize. Eventually that'll turn into a nice bright greenish blue. So if you don't want to do that in any of your builds, you could strip it with your axe here, and then also use some honeycomb to wax it over and it'll stay the same color. So coming out of this tower here, I think we could have a beam sticking out pretty much all the way in front of this door. I'm going to have to break down here, it's going to go above my head, and we're probably going to strip it as well. It's going to be dark oak, and I think this will be like a little sign. Like I'd mentioned before, I wanted this to look like a sort of a fantasy-style bookstore where our mending villager is living. So put a sign out there with maybe some enchanted books on it, and we can know who's living here. Rounded this beam here with some trapdoors to give it a little bit more support. I think if we use this grindstone, yeah, we could hang it from this beam here. We're going to have to crouch for this. Use a chain on that, and finally, put this stripped log out right here. And we got some item frames we could surround this, and I've got a bunch of random books that I'm not really going to use that I picked up from fishing. I think I'm just going to throw them in here, and that'll be a nice front sign for our bookstore. Oh, that is perfect. That is looking so cool, guys. But we have Wandering Trader number 2 of the episode. Can we get some moss? Come on, buddy. You're my only hope. What do we got? Come on, man. Well, Trader number 2 has also mysteriously disappeared. Oh man, all I want is some leaves with some flowers. Wow, that's a lot of drowns. Animals of all types have gathered at the bookstore, but I think to finish out this build, we're going to put a little front porch on it, just because I terraformed the land up here and it's kind of a steep hill. I think like a little staircase up top, it's like just a little front porch would seal this thing off nicely. We're going to use some oak here, I think, put some beams down there, but I think to finish this guy off, we're going to kick this off into a small time lapse where I'm going to beautify the outside of this place. my time lapse was very rudely interrupted. I've only recorded about 4 of these time lapses. I've been blown up by a creeper twice in them, so maybe they're not the best luck for me. But yeah, we've got our front porch built up with our staircase here. I think it's looking great. I just gotta add the rest of the fences in on the side. I don't think I made enough, unfortunately. But yeah, I was gonna add in some coarse dirt and some leaves and whatnot, but that creeper decided against it. Maybe he doesn't like this build very much, but I like it, so. Anyways, this is what I was looking to accomplish in that time lapse. I got a bunch of leaves around, some coarse dirt and bone meal the ground and stuff for some tall grass. I think it looks great. Got our viewing scaffolding here. And this is looking awesome. There's no front door on it yet, so we got to work our way inside, and we'll talk about some plans for that. So coming inside here, we have this 2-block tall area where we got to fill in because that's where our foundation is. We want them to be able to look out the windows, so I think we could step this thing up. We put a stair here and a stair here. That should bring us up to this level. And I'm thinking we're not going all deep slate in the floor. That'd be a little bit too dark. Can mix in some bricks and regular cobbled deep slate and sort of just put like a cross in the middle of this, and then we'll figure out some sort of wood type for the ground. I'm thinking maybe we can try some birch in here. Not too sure how it's going to look, but now we're going to be using some bookshelves, and I was going to do oak on the floor, but the wood texture on bookshelves is already oak as it is, so I think that would just kind of blend together way too much, so we'll see how this looks. Trying my best to make some sense out of this roof here and cover up our little tower. I don't want it showing too much because the stone brick just blending in like that looks a little bit weird. I think I could take a trapdoor here and maybe cover that up. Looks pretty good. And I'm going to have to figure out something over here. Might have to take some of these deep slate brick slabs and bring it down a block so we don't have that exposed cobblestone right there. There we go. Something like that looks a bit more organized. I think we could come in here, and I added this cool little spot here for a hanging lantern from that tower. I think we could kind of center a table underneath it. So if we come out to like here maybe, we could put some slabs and stairs down and make sort of a stone table. I'll just use that for now. And there we go. Now we connect that up. We could put some books and item frames and stuff on there. Be like a little workbench for them. Also made up some bookshelves here. I think I only can use 8 right now because we need at least 1 bookshelf for the lectern that we have to make this guy. I think we're going to put it right in the middle, right over here. So let's put some bookshelves on either side, and this will be his workstation over here. He can use my bed for now, I guess. We're just going to be putting some little side tables and stuff like that, and I think up top along these windows we could actually put some trapdoors and put some little chests up here for storage. I think that'll look pretty good. Do I have some chests? I do. There we go. I knew I made some. So we can put these up here, and since there's stairs and slabs, we can still actually open the chests. We can keep some spare paper and books and stuff like that in here. And every librarian, of course, needs a kitchen. I guess. So we can put a furnace here. That's not actually a villager workstation, so he won't connect to that. Just a little counter space here. And I like to use iron blocks almost like a refrigerator. And every time I place it, it looks even better. But we could put a little button on top so it's like a handle. And perfect. That's an expensive fridge, though. Couple of fun little details later, like this armor stand with some random armor that a zombie dropped. We are pretty much done here. I have an extra bookshelf because I found some more books. I'm going to place that as like a little nightstand here for his bed. Maybe I'll get one more flower pot there. And finally, our lectern is going to go here. But we're actually going to take it with us because we're not using it quite yet. We're going to move on to the next part of the episode. We're going to have to go visit Mr. Green and change him back into a villager. Conveniently enough, I already have a piece of sugarcane and a spider eye in my inventory, which is 2 steps to what we need to craft the potion to turn this guy back. Where'd I put my mushrooms? Where are they? Oh, they're right over here. So we have 10 brown mushrooms here. We only need 1. If we take a brown mushroom, a spider eye, and some sugar, we make ourselves a fermented spider eye. We want to make a potion of weakness for this guy. If you give him a potion of weakness, preferably a splash potion, so you could just splash him with it, and a golden apple, he will change back into a villager. So we have both of those things now. Let's get to it. Awkward potion. And potion of weakness. And finally, adding some gunpowder will give us a splash potion of weakness, so we could just throw it at this guy. Up at the spawner now, I know I have a stone cutter over here for some reason, so I'm gonna break that so he doesn't automatically become a stonemason. Then we can head back over and take care of this guy. So we'll take our potion of weakness and splash him. We might get hit with it. Oh, we didn't. Look at that. And he's got the particle effect. And we can come on over, hopefully he doesn't hit us, and feed him a golden apple. He's going to start shaking and make a scary loud noise, so sorry about that. And he will transform sooner or later. But now we're going to have to move this guy. So best way I like to move villagers is with a minecart. We have plenty of iron, so we're going to have to make up some rails. I just made up the rails we needed, and he has already changed back. That was really quick, actually. So we can come on down and start running a track from here all the way over to where our new house is. So I'm going to get that in real quick. Wow. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Alright, we are back up and our rail is in. As weird as it may look, but I think I'm going to stick the minecart down right here and break this guy out. Hopefully he walks right into it. Let's have our fingers crossed here. And yes, he's in. So we place this down here. Should power the rails. Give him a little nudge. Let's hope he makes it, guys. Off he goes. Alright, we're back at the house. Let's see where he ended up. And he's here. And, what are you? A butcher? He is a butcher. What are you connected to? I know you guys loved it, but I had to get rid of the rail line. It was gorgeous. Maybe it'll come back one day. Actually, I'm sure it'll come back one day. But we are back at the house. Oop, lost a piece of cobblestone. We are back at the house, and looks like I found the smoker our guy was attached to, and he is now a librarian. Mr. Green, he is back. So right over here, I gotta put these stairs back, but I'm gonna put a fence gate down because villagers can open doors, but they can't open fence gates. So I think that's the plan. We're just gonna, oh, not like that. We're gonna place this in here and try and keep him in. We'll just open this up whenever we want to walk in. But basically now, I have to break and replace this lantern and see what kind of trades he gets. But what does he have right now? Nothing. But you can see he is discounted. 24 paper is usually what he wants, but it's down to 18 now. And that will be the same with books. So I'm going to break and replace this lectern behind me a bunch of times until we can get some mending. Not mending, but just an example that he can sell him for 1 emerald. This is Aqua Affinity here. Looks like it was 10 or maybe even 18, and it's down to 1, so the potential of this guy is through the roof. And just like that, I have some great news. It really only took a few minutes, but we have it. Mending for 1 emerald, guys, and it looks like that was originally at 20 emeralds, so all the way down to 1 is a great deal. I'm gonna have to get some paper and lock this guy in, and Mr. Green is going to be our permanent mending villager. We'll let him explore around his new house. I think that's gonna do it for today's episode. But first, gonna trade him some paper just to lock him in. And guys, we need 6 of these books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Look at that, just for 1 emerald. And we pretty much have mending on all of our stuff. Still have some armor to enchant, but that is absolutely perfect. Well, we are down to 1 level, but we have mending on everything. So, with that being said, that's going to do it for me today, folks. Really hope you enjoyed this one. I enjoyed making it. Subscribe if you're new here. Leave a like in the video as well if you'd like to see more. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, folks.